Alright guys, how's it going? Twiggs here, and today this is going to be more of a discussion video slash conversation. So before we jump right into things, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It helps with the growth of the channel, helps get my videos and stuff out there so we can grow the community here. My other thing is hit that notification bell if you want to be informed when I upload any new content or go live, because Twitch just screwed over their business, so I am definitely staying over here on YouTube. That's for uploads and live content, so definitely hit that notification bell when or if you want to be informed on my stuff I do. So my conversation for today is the seasonal content formula for Destiny 2. So I'm not going to jump into PvP because PvP is its own beast. It has got quite a bit of issues that are good and both bad. Some might argue more bad. But when it comes to PvE, which is the side I focus more on, the seasonal content formula is getting to the point where it's becoming very, very formulaic. It's getting to the point where the complacency of the way that each season works, season by season, it's to the point where it's feeling stale. What I mean by that is, so let's look at the seasonal formula for this season, which is Season of the Plunder. Each season, for this season, you go to the this thing called the Astral Seas, the vendor for this season. Then you get a prompt to either go do Catch, Crash, or Expedition. And then after you finish that, you go do a mission that will be floating around here. And then after you're done, you'll most likely get a prompt to go over here to the Elixir Quarter to witness any story content, like characters talking or what have you. And then bam, you are pretty much finished for that week. And it worked very similar to last season. Let's look at Season of the Haunted. Season of the Haunted, you go to here, the Crown of Sorrow, get your story mission. Then you'd head over to the moon, go over here, do the Castellum, then go to the Sever mission, which would be kind of your story mission for that week. Then after the Sever mission, you would be pretty much done for that week. Let's look at Season of the Risen. Season of the Risen. You would go to the war table, go over here, do your Science Battleground. And after that Science Battleground, you would either head back here to the war table, or that'd be it. That'd be pretty much it. And as you can see, I could go back to past seasons if I could, further back past seasons if I wanted to. It's about the same each season after season. Talk to vendor, do one thing, do maybe another thing, then you're done. And that formula is gotten so, because it just revolves around the weekly, not even weekly, it just revolves around the seasonal activity. It's just the seasonal activity. Then maybe if that season has another seasonal activity, do it, and then you're done. This is literally the two. It's just the 6-man activity or the 3-man activity. Do the story mission, you're done. Same thing with the Season of the Haunted. Do the public event activity. Do the 1 to 3 player activity with Sever missions. Then you're pretty much done. It's so formulaic that people are noticing it. It's just we're just forced to play the seasonal activities each week. Then that's it. And The issue is that it's to the point where each season doesn't even feel unique anymore. It's just, here's your activity for the season. You got to play it in order to see more story content, and then that's it. Other than that, you just got strikes. You may have the new dungeon or the raid. Bam, that's it. And it's not even like, it doesn't even feel new or unique anymore. The last time a season felt new or unique was Season of the Lost, which was the season right before the Witch Queen expansion. Yeah, we had our 6-player activity for that season, but we also had something unique going on at the same time with the Aegir Scepter story quest. That at least had something going for it that made each week feel special, because we were learning more and more about Mara and Aldrin's / Crow's background. But that still doesn't help with the issue. Even last year's seasons had the same issue where you were pretty much forced to play whatever the activity was for that season. But this year, it just feels so bare bones. Like, there's not even anything special. Like the only thing they added that feels kind of unique is last season with the dungeon, this season with King's Fall, but I don't really count King's Fall because that's just a reprise thing from D1. It doesn't add anything current to what's going on present in the storylines. It's just, hey, here's this cool raid from D1. Okay, cool. But what else is there to this season? So that gets to my next point, which is that it's when I say stale, it's becoming a very boring content loop. And especially when we're also tasked with getting the seasonal currency. And some of the seasonal currency only comes from doing core playlist activities. Don't count legends. These 3 things. These 3, yes, they have been. It has been a. It has been a battle for Bungie to find a way to make Crucible enticing. But when it comes to Gambit and Vanguard or the Strike playlist, these activities are just dead in the water. Gambit is memed on so much in the Destiny community. Gambit, I mean, you can tell I have not even done Gambit this season so far because I don't want to. Gambit is just, nobody likes playing it. It's not fun. It almost enforces you to have a toxic mentality when you play it. And then when it comes to Vanguard, yes, Nightfalls can be fun, but at the very end of the day, you're still replaying an old strike that you've done countless amounts of times. Strikes don't feel new. They will never feel new unless Bungie can find a way to make players want to hop into the strike playlist. Like, let me explain to you this. When we have to do our 3 strikes for the Pinnacle gear, it is basically every time we load into anytime anyone loads into the strike playlist, their goal is to run the quickest ad clear stuff to get through that strike as fast as possible. Every time I load into that to any strike, I am most likely running Trinity Goal just so I can ad clear and get through that strike ASAP. Because you just want to get in and out. You just want to get in and out. You want to get your 3 strikes in and then get the hell out. And that's another issue. Is that these core playlists don't ever get improved on. Yes, the reward system was improved on, but the core, like doing the activity, it's just a chore. It is literally a chore. So having stale content loops each season just makes each other core playlist activity feel like that much more of a chore. Because when seasonal content loop is boring and stale, it it puts more of a spotlight on how all the other core playlists feel like a chore. And that just makes the game just feel more and more stale. Makes the game feel more and more boring. So another thing that just makes the game feel trivial is reusing old assets from content that's been vaulted. So this season has been the most glaringly obvious. We'll look at last season. So last season, on Season of the Haunted, they reused the Castellum. Now, I'm giving them somewhat of a pass for reusing the Castellum because they at least made a narrative reason for why the Castellum or the Leviathan is back. Because it went along with the story of Callus popping back up. The Leviathan, it's covered in this plant-like material that's named egregore. It's covered in egregore. It's like a plant mold thing that has psychic abilities. And the story is trying to figure out what Callus is doing back. What's going on with the Leviathan? Why is he hanging above the moon? There was a narrative thing going on for why the Castellum returned, and I give Bungie a pass because they fit it in the narrative. But when it comes to the Season of the Plunder reused assets, whenever we get the story mission that pops up right around here, when we load in, it is literally a reused lost sector from vaulted locations. They have reused lost sectors from Mars. They have reused lost sectors from the Tangled Shore. And that's been about it so far. And they used the reused lost sector from Mars twice, the same lost sector. So it becomes as someone who has played those lost sectors from the beginning of their entry into the game. I had to say it that way because of the Tangled Shore, because it came in with the Forsaken expansion. It's just laughable that this season, which was paid, you had to pay for this season. It's paid content. Is they're reusing assets from previous paid content. In some cases, the lost sector is barely even redone, like the one with the big mechanical turbine thing that led up to an ogre at the very top of the lost sector. They barely reworked that lost sector at all. At least the other ones, they tried to make it look different. But anyone with a keen eye would have noticed that it was a reused lost sector. But that's the thing, is that when they're reusing assets and they're barely even trying to redo it, try to make it look different, it just makes the overall game feel just recycled, even more stale. And that is another issue with the seasonal content model. It's just you're adding more and more things that just hurt the model even more. So what I'm at my ultimate point here is that Bungie, I think, is starting to feel it from the outside looking in. I'm not in Bungie studio. I don't know what exactly the mentality is in their studio, their headquarters. I don't know. But from someone as a player who's playing this game and who's been playing this game non-stop almost, it looks like complacency. And if it's not complacency, then, well, unfortunately, you guys are going to have to do something to make me not feel like it is complacency. Because the seasonal content model is getting more stale. It's feeling like more bare bones. Yes, there are some aspects that look really good. I'll give them credit. They did a decent job on Catch Crash. Catch Crash feels different. Another thing is that the narrative. Right now, pretty much the narrative of this game is what's carrying the game. The team that's been writing these stories and has been putting the narrative together, they're doing an amazing job. The narrative is literally what's carrying this game right now. The story's great, but every other aspect of the game, when it comes to the people that are doing mission design, who are making the content model designs, they're gonna. I hate to be that guy, but you got to step it up. And last but not least, we're going to touch on King's Fall. Right now, when it comes to master content, when it comes to the rewards for master content, and you compare them to weapon crafting, they're defeating the purpose of each other. Weapon crafting makes for the rewards for Master King's Fall, Master Val feel worthless. In fact, there is no reason to run Master King's Fall or Master Val Disciple or Master Vault of Glass unless you're just going for the title. But after you get the title, it's done. The title is literally the only reason to run those raids. The time-lost weapons, the harrowed weapons, the whatever the name was for the Val the Disciple Master weapons, there's no point. Because weapon crafting defeats their purpose. So one or two things is going to happen. You're going to have to buff in some way the master raid weapons, or make those weapons. Well, you can't because part of the fun of getting the red border weapons in the raids is crafting. And so it's gotten to the point where people are saying crafting is now doing a disservice to the game. And enhanced perks are somewhat doing a disservice to the game because you can't make enhanced perks too overpowered or you're dealing with power creep. So Bungie has put themselves in a pickle with weapon crafting in two ways: by having enhanced perks and not going all the way with making them feel too powerful. Again, I understand you don't want power creep, or you don't want to lean too far into power creep. But at the same time, you got these master raids that have borderline no rewards because some other aspects of the game defeat their purpose. So, I know with this video it seems like I'm just dogging on Bungie and Destiny 2, which I don't want to do because I love the game. Like I said, there are some aspects of the game that they do excellent on, like the story. The story is absolutely excellent. But there are aspects of the game, like PvP, the seasonal content model, master versions of raids, the crafting system. They're falling short. They are absolutely falling short. And it's time for Bungie to make improvements to this. I know right now in their development cycle, they're already like 2 seasons ahead. But this has been an issue since the last year's seasons. It's time for improvement. It's time for change. It's time for them to prove to me and the rest of the community that they are not complacent and that they do want this game to be the best version that it can possibly be. So that's this video. Hop in the comments section. Let me know what you guys think about the seasonal content loop and all the other things I've talked about in the game. Hop down, like I said, hop down in those comments and let me know what you're thinking. Do you agree with me or do you not? Hit that like and subscribe button. It helps with the growth of the channel. Hit that notification bell so you'll be informed whenever I do go live or upload any new content. And I'll catch you guys later.